Well, Wendy Griffith went on the 700 Club show about over 10 years ago because she wrote a book that's entitled "You Are a Prize to Be Won" to the young or maybe even middle-aged Christian women. Don't you settle, girl. You are a prize to be won. In the book, she actually talks about the pearl of great price. Now, if you remember one of the parables of Christ, talking about the pearl of great price, and in the parable, the pearl of great price is salvation. It is getting the hope of heaven. That's the pearl of great price. When Wendy Griffith writes her book to the ladies, the Christian ladies, she tells them the pearl of great price is you, baby. It's you, baby. It is you. She says, ladies, the Lord wants you to know that you are a pearl of great price, a treasure worth pursuing and protecting. You are worth fighting for. And like the pearl in the parable, at the head of this chapter, worth everything it might cost a guy to obtain you. You are worth someone sacrificing his time, his routine, his comfort, his money, his whatever, in order to have you. You are worth it. You are a prize to be won. Boy, baby, don't you settle. Now, she wrote this in her mid-40s as a Christian single woman. And I would just say, did anyone, pastor, elder, anyone say, listen, baby, you're in your 40s. You may not be as much of a prize as you think you are. Let me go to the video, though. This is Wendy Griffith on the 700 Club, and she's talking about her book and how she is not going to settle, and neither should you, Christian lady. You are a daughter of God. You are the pearl of great price. You are a prize to be won. Here it is.
What are you going to tell us? What are you going to open secrets to your hope chest?
Well, as you know, I was in a relationship the entire year of 2011, and it ended and broke my heart, and it was the hardest thing I ever went through. And, the Holy Spirit told me to write about my test. He called it a test, which I thought was interesting. And
hey, well, you made a big deal about this stuff about love and everything. I mean, for those of us a little silly, I mean, you really made a big deal of it.
I wanted the fairy tale. I was in my 40s. Finally, I thought my prince had come. I could almost taste it. I wanted the wedding. I wanted the ring. I wanted the wedding. I wanted the honeymoon, Pat.
Well,
They show a picture of her with Mr. Prince Charming with his face blurred out. I thought that was perfect.
You fantasized the whole cotton picking thing. I mean, it was way overblown.
But a lot of us do that. But I was, in my defense, I mean, it felt very, very real.
Okay.
It felt very real,
But the Holy Spirit told her it wasn't real. Or wait a minute. No, the Spirit told her something else. I don't know. What?
Keep going.
Well, we dated for an entire year, and during about 6 months into the relationship, every girl wants to hear those 3 words, "I love you."
Yeah.
And one night he finally said them, but he said, "I love you, but I don't know if you're the one." And it was like getting,
oh, I love you, but I don't know if you're the one. Boy, this guy's got game. Boy, he knows how to keep him on the chain here. Keep him behaving. Say, yeah, I love you. I don't know if you're the one. You better shape up here. I don't know what. Wow, this guy's my hero. I don't know who this guy is, but man, this guy, anyway.
getting kissed and slapped really hard at the same time, because you wanted to hear those words so desperately, and I'm like, why don't I feel good?
But I don't know if you're the one.
Yeah,
what a jerk.
Well, what is that? At the time, I was so confused because
that is kind of a jerk, but man, this guy's got game. Whoever this guy is, wow, this guy. Yeah, I love you, baby. I don't know if you're the one. You better try a little harder. Love it.
that I've been waiting so long to hear that. Maybe he just needs more time. However, retrospect, you can see very clearly, basically when a guy says, but I don't know if you're the one, he's saying, I like you a lot, but I'm keeping my options open in case something better comes along. You know, Pat, if I just had
Let's be friends and let's just cuddle. I got to put you. Okay.
listen, if I could just do that moment over in that restaurant and say, look, you can take your I love you butt and your butt and go back to where you came from because I am worth I love you, period. And every woman.
Oh man. I think that's the Christian lady way. You can take your I love you butt and your butt and go like I think that's the very Christian way of saying go shove it up your right. I think that's what she's meaning there, but she probably can't say that on the 700 Club. But this is when the Holy Spirit tells her that you are a prize to be won, baby. And she writes the book for all the Christian ladies out there. Here we go.
What I talk about in the book, every woman is worth I love you, period. If a guy can't say it straight, if he's leaving a loophole, then God's got a better plan and a better man.
You're a prize to be won. And you needed some reassurance, didn't you?
Oh, absolutely. I thought I had preached to other women, you're a prize to be won, because that was something the Holy Spirit spoke to me years ago when I was on assignment in Florida, big national story that we'd all remember. And I asked the guy to go out to dinner with me because we'd been hanging out, laughing all day. And he said, no, I think I got to go to the gym. And I just was like, it just.
Boy, he must not have been feeling it. Because let me tell you, she's a good looking woman. She is a good looking woman. If a woman asked me, hey, you want to go out to dinner? And I would assume she'd be paying then. You want to go out to dinner? Boy, I'd have to really not be into her to turn down a free dinner and be like, nah, I'm going to hit the gym. You know, like, nah, I got to hit the gym, baby. Boy, he must not have been feeling the vibe too much. I don't know. This woman must be clueless. If she's like, yeah, we're having a great vibe hanging out on day. And then I asked him out on the day and he was like, no, what? I don't think he was feeling the vibe, baby. You might need to hear the Holy Spirit talk to you a little more about that. Now, I don't mean to, I believe in the power of the Spirit and the Holy Spirit, but when women start talking about the Holy Spirit speaking to them, and this is the kind of stuff they come up with, I don't think this is the Holy Spirit talking to you. I really don't. I think this is your crazy feelings in your head talking to you, especially if you put in your book that you are the pearl of great price. No, that is not the Holy Spirit telling you that. All right, anyway.
Hurt, and I'm on my way back to the hotel, and I'm like, God, why did I do that? Why did I ask that guy out? And the Holy Spirit just said, you are a prize to be won. And so I was preaching.
There it is, baby. You are a prize to be won. Now, if we go on this interview, I'll put a link to it in the show. This is it's a pretty interesting interview, but that's the gist of it is, hey, the Spirit told me you are a prize to be won. So I wrote this book to all the Christian single ladies, all the single ladies, all the single ladies, all the single ladies, right? If you like it, you should have put a ring on it. Well, I guess that kind of fits with this too, right? With her saying you are worth it, blah, blah. You are the pearl of great price. Anyway, Wendy, though, I looked it up. So this is like over 10 years ago. So I looked it up. Wendy Griffith finally got married. Can you guess how old Wendy was when she finally met Mr. Perfect? She was 54 years old. 54 years old. I think my grandmother was a grandmother at 54 years old. This woman is just getting married at 54 years old. She is not going to have her own children. She is not Sarah in her old age having Isaac, right? She is not having any children because she was the prize and she was willing to wait. Folks, that's the cost of waiting. That's the cost of wait. You wait too long, the ship will sail if you want to have your own family. Sure, you can adopt, but man, I don't know, at 54, you probably not going to want to chase kids around when you're that old, or at least your own, maybe your own grandkids or something, but not your own kids. Anyway, so she goes on. I looked this up. When she finally did get married, she goes on the 700 Club again. in 2023, it looks like, probably 2023, and talks about finding the one. And she writes a book called You Didn't Miss It. You didn't miss it. You got to listen. You got to listen. I mean, you can't even make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up.
Wendy Griffith has enjoyed an incredible career. She was living her dream as a reporter and anchor for CBN News. Only one thing was missing in her life, though. She longed to fall in love and get married.
Wendy Griffith is a very familiar name to the 700 Club audience. As a host and news reporter, she's lent her skills to the show for many years. Our viewers also recall Wendy's big news in 2019 that she was getting married, a desire of her heart for years. In a new book, You Didn't Miss It, Wendy shares her story and encourages other singles that God has not forgotten them.
Wow, what an encouragement. God has not forgotten you. You too can be a career woman, live your dreams doing your career, and you too can find love and be married at 54 years old. Is this the message of the church to Christian women? Like, what on earth? Now, this video might go a little long, but I got this from Pastor Dalrock's blog. He wrote a blog about this in 2019 about this woman, and he said there was a quote going around on Facebook that Jesus didn't die on the cross for you to be a side chick. He was talking, this quote, I guess, was going around with Christian women or something. And he was saying that this is an expression of the ubiquitous perspective by modern Christian women, and it's a corruption of the message of the gospel. That he says the problem with this perversion is twofold. That first, Christ didn't sacrifice himself on our behalf so that Christians, male or female, could have a pleasurable life of sin. Yet, he says the implicit frame of the statement is that women deserve a rewarding experience on the carousel. And if they aren't getting it, men have let them down. Meaning that you shouldn't be the side chick. You should be the main chick. You should be the one that he is committing to 100%. He says one commenter on Lori Alexander's blog. Now I really like Lori Alexander. She's the Transformed Wife. She has the blog called The Transformed Wife. One commenter reacted to her observation that men prefer debt-free virgins without tattoos. I think that was her quote that kind of put her on the map. He says he asserted that the message of the gospel is that she is worthy. Here's what this commenter said, and I think Pastor Dalrock's bringing out just this larger point. Here's what he says: whether I have or have not gone to college, had sex before marriage, acquired debt, gotten a tattoo, etc., does not make me any less worthy of the sacrificial love of Jesus Christ. So what right does any earthly man have to call me less than worthy to simply be his wife due to the same criteria? Exclamation point. Christ is greater than humanity. Be careful that you preach Christ and not your own ideals. What stupid nonsense is this person talking about on this blog? I mean, come on. So Pastor Dalrock says, for an even more astounding example of this perverted message of the gospel, this is where he goes into Wendy Griffith's book about you are a prize to be won. And that's where she talks about you are the pearl of great price, which is almost blasphemous to what Christ's parable was of the pearl of great price. He says, though, now this kind of puts the cherry on top for the whole article that you write. I'll put a link to it here. He says, keep in mind that the error isn't just by modern Christian women, but Christian men aren't challenging this perversion because to them it is perfectly sensible. This message is anti-biblical, but it fits with the chivalrous paradigm. So Christian men remain silent or even promote this message. And then he gives the example, the video that I just watched with Pat Robertson. Just think, oh, this is so wonderful for you, Wendy. Oh, blah, blah, blah. I mean, Pat should know better than that. Come on, man. But you just wonder, this lady, when Pat's talking to her, she's in her mid-40s and she's a career woman. She's been a newscaster, blah, blah. If I were Pat, I would look at her and say, listen, being a wife, if that's what you desire, being a wife is a job description. No man wants a wife who is traveling around the world to report stories when he's probably in his element, going to his job, doing his thing. Most normal men want a wife who is at home with them, helping them, being their helpmate. No wonder why this woman can't find a husband. I mean, what man really wants a woman like that? I don't know any, really. I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people. I mean, what silly nonsense. What a silly nonsense. Anyway, we got to get this turned around. This is the wrong message to be sending the Christian women. And we got to get it turned around. And we will get it turned around because Christ is winning. He is building his church, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. Until next time, this is the Post Millennial Man.